Hello, hola, ciao, what's good? I am Kelly Paratelli. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your time and energy here today. Today's beautiful video is going to be in regards to self-publishing, specifically the cover design for your book and my book. This video is being made to talk about why I chose to make my cover the way I did, front and back, of my book Testimonials, which again is a self-published book through Barnes & Noble Self-Publishing House online, and a book available on the shelves of 3 local and independently owned bookstores in Michigan in the United States, which is called Schuler's Local Independent Bookstores. It is on the shelf in all 3 locations that are currently open in Michigan. It is also available through link in the description through Barnes & Noble in the bottom of this video. I'm making this video to share sort of the experience that I went through in deciding how I would create the design for the outside cover of this book, the spine of this book, the symbols on this book, the colors, which are also very important to me on this book, and kind of how I went about that process, and maybe provide some tips and tricks for people, and maybe some inspiration and motivation for anyone who finds it maybe overwhelming, the idea of writing your own book and creating your own design. When I first started, I was a little nervous about who would know me well enough, who would I trust enough to help me with the design of my book, which is essentially the essence of me and my true voice, right? My true story, my true testimonials. It's such a personal thing, and I was very dead set on being independent, being self-published, being, it being in my name, right? The copyrights to the content, the title, and the cover. So when it comes to the cover design, the front and back of my book here, the first thing I want to say is I created this technically on Canva. And Canva, for those of you who don't know, and for those of you who may be concerned about spending money when it comes to designing your book and writing and self-publishing, I've said this in my other video, which was 5 things you need to know when beginning to self-publish, like beginner's guide for self-publishers, for writers who are looking to publish. So I said it before, one of the things I said in that video is you don't need a lot of money to publish a book. So canva.com, I had gone online and I had looked on YouTube, and I had looked at what other content creators were using, what other self-published authors were using through the platform. I watched a lot of videos, I read a lot of vlogs and blogs, and I researched and Googled online ways that you could create a cover design for a book, for a presentation, and Canva just kept coming up for artistic talents such as this and creative design for artists. And so what you need to know about Canva is they have a 30-day free trial. And the great thing about that is you get 30 days free to design. You get 1 month to design and use and log into this program under what's called premium. They have a regular basic package, and then they have a premium package on Canva, and the premium package just has way more designs, way more color choices, way more editing options, way more sizing options, which is important when you're using Canva to download certain sizes of images for certain platforms. For instance, I used Canva also to make the cover photo, the YouTube banner for my YouTube channel as my official channel logo, which now says Travel, Art, and Beauty, Kelly Paratelli, Live the Life You Love. I used Canva to create that. And there weren't as many design options and image choices in the regular basic package, but you can sign up for the premium Canva package for 30 months free trial. And the great secret hack about that is if you wait the 30 days, they're going to charge you $12.99 a month, and it will come directly deposited out of your account, because in order to create the 30-day free trial account with premium, you have to put in your credit card or debit card information. So it's kind of like putting it on hold, your card on hold for like a deposit or like at a hotel, and they won't actually charge it until the 30 days goes by. But if you decide to cancel your Canva account at day 28 or 29 and you cancel it for a week, you can actually recreate the premium account again for free. And I can testify that I've done it 3 or 4 times where I've created the online account for free for the 30-day premium free trial. I've canceled it and I've gone back within the next month and created another account and used it again, all for free. So basically there are platforms that give you all of the images, all of the GIFs, all of the characters you want, all of the pictures you want, all these things in one database online for free. So to all the people who are worried about like paying for an extra account, they don't have the money. I don't even have Netflix. I don't even have Amazon Prime or Hulu. So Canva, I didn't want to pay $12.99 for it, but when I found out I could continue to do the free trial by canceling and then going back, I thought, well, that's really great for people to know. So technically that's where I created my design. The thing that I had in mind before I even started the design was that I knew I wanted the title to be Testimonials. I knew I wanted my name on the cover, and I was very certain about the colors that I wanted. Now, blue and red, I've said this in my other videos, are the two primary colors, and gold and white are very special colors on this book design as well for me. So blue is technically a female color, contrary to popular belief and what the masses have told you, and red is a male color, and if you think about it, it makes sense. I've said this before. The two masculine elements are air and fire, and the two female elements are earth and water. So it makes sense that blues and greens would be female colors, and reds and yellows and oranges are actually masculine male colors, okay? So fire, like the sun, which sol in Espanol is the sun, which means soul. In Spanish is how it's pronounced, and in Italian Latin languages, sol, S-O-L, translates directly in English to sun, S-U-N, which sounds like in phonetics, the sound it makes sounds like S-O-N, like the Son of God. But I won't get religious on you, but it's just a fire moment to bring it up. I believe, and I've said this in my other videos, that this symbol, the universal flame, the fleur-de-lis in France, which has gone back for centuries well before that, is the universal flame, the universal symbol for the soul, the universal flame, okay, which resides in the heart, in the unseen dimension, in the spiritual realm, which I believe exists. I am not a religious person, but I am very spiritual, and I respect all human beings' beliefs. But for me, the way this book cover is designed, this symbol is in the middle where the heart is on purpose. It goes from front to back in terms of chronology and symbolism. So Testimonials is in gold because it's the same color as my heart, because I have a heart of gold, and this is the universal flame, which is the true gold that lies within. The bottom symbol is a lotus flower or a lotus blossom. The first street that I ever lived on with my mother and father was Lotus Street in Grand Rapids, Michigan, where my mother and father, when my mother was still alive, bought us a house, a little triangle house on Lotus. These are facts. This is Testimonials. That's in my book, actually. So it's kind of like, you can hardly see it, right? But on the very bottom of this book, there's water. And this was a design I found on Canva. I wanted it to be a symbol of nature. I wanted it to be natural. I wanted the elements to be incorporated into this. I wanted the colors to be important. I wanted it to be sort of simple but profound, right? So I put the water down here, and if you look really closely, you can see white mountains over the horizon on a blue sky, a clear blue sky. You can see the earth, you can see mountain white caps over a blue body of water, and then it almost looks like that's the land. And my body, mind, and soul have been projected as my voice out into the air. So it's like I'm putting my voice out into the air. I'm putting my story into open air. I'm putting my power and my life and my testimonials, my true gifts, I'm giving out into the world. I'm putting my true testimonials out into the world. And that's why this whole blue background is the earth, right? It's the sky, it's the open air, but air is an unseen element. Air is supposed to be like up here, like God or the energy, right? It's the unseen that we know exists, but we can't prove because we can't see it. But the air on the back of the blue earth sky looks blue. It's the color blue because it's reflected and refracted off the water, which are all earthly elements. So the air looks blue in the sky because it's reflecting the colors of the earth and the water, which our earth is largely made up of water, correct? So it's almost like this flower, this base, this foundation, this body, this lotus blossom is white because it's like pure, right? And then you'll see that it turns kind of into gold. My name is white because my name is unique and pure. The symbol and the testimonials are gold because it's pure soul, pure fire, what I've written and how I've written it and how I've released it. Okay, now the red outline, which is a masculine color, almost looks like the Matrix or something is trying to outline my testimonials and my name and my heart, right, in a box. It's like the Matrix is trying to put me into a box. The red is coming for me, but they will never be able to get me because there is an unseen aura protecting me. It's like the Matrix, it's like the computers, it's like technology, it's like the man coming, trying to get me, but they will never be able to touch me. And this is what it evolves into. The back of the book actually looks like these symbols are in the shape of a cross, right? North, and there's north, south. Here it's west, east, but for you it's west, east, the way this is facing. But you can see that the top, so to speak, the head, the air, the north point is a compass, right? It says in gold and gold and black, it says north, south, west, east, the compass, right? So again, these have very important meaning. North, south are male. West, east are female. Water, earth, air, fire. 2 masculine, 2 feminine equals a perfect balance of any being in mortal form. It is also used in directions. North, south, and east, west, like a compass. Okay? So the brain, the creative brain that visualizes a good sense of direction like the one I have, the creative brain that visualizes how I want this cover to look and visualizes where I'm gonna go before I go on a travel adventure without a GPS or maps, that visualizes and has a good sense of direction because God gave me that part of the brain. God did not give me a math brain. The universe did not give me a math brain. The universe gave me an astounding sense of direction and creative ability. And that is the way I've always been. And I'm not saying I can't hone on and mold and work on my other skills. Like, I'm not saying I can't get better at math and being a handy lady, but I've never been good at putting things together with my hands. And I've never been good at math, but I'm not saying I never will be able to. I'm just saying that I'm predisposed to have a creative brain that is good at literacy, reading and writing and visualizing and artsy. I have the artsy brain and I have an astoundingly good sense of direction, okay? I never get lost. And when I see a place once with my own eyes, I never forget how to get there again. I traveled all throughout the world barely using the maps, only in places that it was my first time being there. And I figured out how to navigate train systems and see which direction I was going just by being out in the world and seeing the environment that I was in, right? So now the lotus blossom on the bottom is the base, and it's gold on the back. It's almost like I've evolved in the back of this book, on the back of this book, into the shape of a cross. And arguably, we human beings are aiming for the shape of a tree or a cross, right? Interestingly enough. As I said, I believe and respect that there's truth in all religions, but I am not religious. I'm spiritual, and I believe in God, and I believe in the universe. And I believe in the energy that I know is real, that I call God's spirit in the universe. But this represents the mind, this represents the body, and this represents the soul. Okay, these are the feminine, these are the masculine, this is the center base. Okay, this is now all in gold, this is gold and black, this is gold. And on the back you'll notice that I am free of the red constraints. I am free of the red box. I'm free of the matrix. I'm free of the man's games, right? And I say all this in the book, but I don't really say why and how I decided to make this cover design. So basically, you still see the earth on the back, you still see the mountains, and you still see the water and a brief white caps if you look close enough. But I'm a female, and I am from the state of Michigan, and Michigan is a blue color. And even though I was born in Nashville, Tennessee, and I've lived in Europe briefly, and I've traveled to many places around the world, I have lived in Michigan most of my life, and I consider Michigan my home, right? Michigan is a blue state full of water, so that's another reason why I made this book blue. And there's a little bit of goldy orange in it too, which is the colors of Tennessee. So I'm kind of incorporating all the things that make me me, but on a very like simplistic, profound, wise, deep level, right? I wanted it to be simple. I didn't want it to be overdone. I wanted it to be not traditional, but like wise, because I was raised by nothing but older adults. I grew up without siblings. I was an only child. Spent my time around nothing but older adults because my mom passed away and that's who I was around. So I grew up quickly in a lot of ways, and I always felt wise beyond my years. And I wanted this book to reflect that part of me that was sort of simple and wise and beautiful and pure and gold, right? Because this book is gold, okay? It's my most important material possession besides my home and my own body, mind and soul, right? Like this is the truest extension of me in my book and my powers of light and love and creative ability that God gave me. So that's what I believe, but I respect what other people believe. I respect if people disagree with me. I respect if you have a different religious background. I respect if you don't believe in God, okay? I respect if you don't believe the same things as me, which I said in my other poems, Protect Your Peace. I'll make it clear, like these are direct lines from my book. Like, I believe that all human beings were created to be and are equal as one race, despite ethnicity, socioeconomic status, sexual orientation, religion, color, or gender. Okay? I promote peace, love, and respect to all life around me. Okay? And in the presence of especially, and this book reflects that. Peace, love, and respect for our earth, for the natural way of things, for our creative abilities, for love, for inspiration. And I'm finding myself inspired this week. The idea just came into my mind to talk about on my YouTube channel why I decided to make this my cover design. Okay? And I think this symbol has been widely confused throughout history as being something it might not necessarily be. But think hard on this. I'm not saying that this is the earthly symbol of the soul. I'm saying that I believe this is the universal symbol for the soul. I had the colors in mind ahead of time. I had in my head that I wanted it to be earth on the bottom. I wanted water. You can vaguely see some trees in this at the very bottom corner. It's kind of hard to see in this picture, but there's trees in the very bottom corner because I love trees. There's water, there's earth, and there's fire. So you see all the elements are incorporated into this book. The two primary colors are incorporated into this book. Gold, silver, and white and black are incorporated into this book. Just right. So this was about me putting my true voice out into the world. It was not about money. I've already said that. What's in here is gold. What's in here is truth. What's in here is fact. What's in here is beautiful. What's in here is my true testimonials. It is a compilation of short stories, non-fictional, as I've said again, poetry, and a beautiful introduction about my life and who I am. I didn't do it for money, and I believe that's how good things have come back to me naturally, because I put it out for the right reasons. And this cover design reflects that. Not everyone has the opportunity, the resources, and the education, but that makes me want to do it even more and let the people who know and believe that they can do it, give them a little push, just a little planting of a seed. It's possible, because if you believe anything's possible, it can happen. Know that. It all starts with your beliefs. this beautiful balance of deciding that you're going to put something out into the world without caring what anybody else thinks about it. Because it's not about anybody else. It's about you. It starts with yourself. And I can't judge other people. I can't tell you what to do with your life, but I can share my experience with you and let you know that I spent 30 years writing handwritten entries in black and white journals. Cover to cover, I've filled countless journals of various sizes, and it says that in the introduction of this book. Before I finally got to the point where, and I say it in my introduction, and I said it on this YouTube channel already, where I wanted to write this book and share it with the world, and I have. And it continues to grow, and I continue to nurture it, and I continue to promote it with every video that I do, and in real life, and in local bookstores, and at art events, and in the communities, and with my loved ones. And I continue to give it as a gift to those I want to give it as a gift to, and I continue to appreciate any support of the ones who want to buy it, who want access to it, who have asked me to read it, who have truly written me heartfelt messages about how they have been inspired, about how they've always wanted to write a book. And it truly makes my heart happy to know that just by doing it for myself, it may inspire somebody else to do it for themselves. Because when you give out love and positivity, it comes right back to you. That's how it works. They call it the law of attraction in science. They call it karma in Hinduism. They call it, you reap what you sow, as Jesus said in Christianity, and as it says in the Quran, and as it says in the Tao Te Ching, and as it says in the Tree of Life and the Torah, and in every holy book known to man. You get what you give. The energy that you put out comes back to you. This is a positive thing. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever done, is writing this book and publishing it. I have no regrets. I don't care what anybody says about it. Nobody can ever change my belief that this book is beautiful and good in every way. Because it was true. It was real. They're my real, true testimonials, and every part of this is beautiful. I wouldn't change a thing. I might keep writing. I might make a second volume. In fact, I plan to make a second Testimonials volume 2. But this book, the way it is perfect. I'm at peace with every decision that I made with this book. Because I went with my instincts, I followed my heart, and the result was pure gold. So I ultimately put my initial brainstorming ideas of colors and symbols and earthly elements, body, mind, and soul, male and female, earth, air, fire, water. I put that all together with traveling, with writing, with the essence of me and these important symbols. And ultimately, I got on Canva, and I found this symbol in their list of premium symbols. It's like a database full of symbols and emojis and pictures and images, all just by creating the free account on Canva's premium option, right? So I ultimately went on there. I found symbols that I liked that matched my ideas. You can design the colors really easily. You can design the size really easily. There's ways to download it and save it onto your computer. There's ways to screenshot it. There's ways to edit it. It's very user-friendly. It's a really good site to create a cover design. They have templates that you can create, or you can create something brand new for your YouTube banner, for cover art, for, you know, a business card you can make on there. You can make a book cover on there. You can make an audio book cover on there. There's lots of things you can do on Canva for creative design. People use it for Etsy. People use it for YouTube. People use it for self-publishing. They talk about it a lot on YouTube. So I just wanted to make it clear and be transparent that Canva is ultimately what I use to put all of my ideas together and create this cover art design. And again, I talked about this in one of my other videos of self-publishing. They asked me if I wanted to put my book in the Michigan history section of Schuler's local independent bookstores on the shelves, or if I wanted it to display the spine. So the lady at the store asked me, she's like, do you want it front facing like this and be in Michigan history section? Or do you want only the spine showing in the poetry section? And that was my only option at first. So I said I wanted it in the Michigan history section because technically it is somewhat autobiographical. It is somewhat of a memoir, so to speak, even though I've said I don't like those labels. I don't care about labels, really. But I wanted it front facing because I wanted these symbols and these colors and these designs with my name in it and the word testimonials and the symbol to be displayed. So I put it in the Michigan history section. It was pretty successful. But just the other day, I want to share something with you too. The cover design is what's going to draw people to your book, right? It's going to draw attention to your design, to what you're about. It's kind of like the thumbnail of a YouTube video, or, you know, the thumbnail of a movie. If you're gonna look at the DVD, you know, the outside cover, it kind of draws people to you, so you want it to be eye-catching. The colors and the symbols on mine are. And if you know the word testimonials. It's not only a religious, spiritual thing, it's what they use in a court of law to testify the truth of one's real life experiences. Ultimately, I chose to go front facing in the Michigan history section, even though it is widely, almost half of this book is poetry, right? So the other option would have been the poetry section. But they tried to label poetry as fiction, and I said this in one of my other videos already, and I don't believe that it is always to be falling in the category of fiction, which means not real, right? My poetry actually is real, somewhat similar to spoken word or even rap, one might say. But it's not. To me, it's rhyming poetry, but it is spoken word. And it is real. I mean, these are my true testimonials that I wrote in poem format, right? So to me, it's not fair to label it as fiction. It's more of, you know, non-fictional biographical memoir, so to speak. But I like to say non-fictional short stories and poems. For that reason, it's real. Non-fiction means real, because fiction means fake. And they're not going to label my poetry as fake or not real, because it's about as real as it gets, right? So anyway, it's up to you how you want to do this, but I wanted to share this story with you the other day. Now, when I went into local Schuler's independent bookstores, kind of how they do things is, if your book is successful, in the self-publishing, what they call consignment section, which means you're not technically a part of the Indie Authors Association of the country of the United States, but you have paid for specific locations to put your book on the shelves, and that's what they call consignment, for self-published authors to put their book in specific sections without being part of an Indie Author National Association, which I still am going to join. And I might do another video on how to use Canva, how to create an account on Canva, and how to navigate the Canva website for cover design. It's been a while since I've used it. I did use it pretty recently for my YouTube banner, but it's been a while since I did it for the book, but I think I remember, and I could maybe do like a tutorial on how to do it. But anyways, I wanted to share this quick story. The more books that I sold at Schuler's, they kind of became more lenient on where I would put my book on the shelves. Like they allowed me to kind of move it around because it was selling, and it was becoming successful and people were buying it. So the other day I went into the store, and I go in every so often to Schuler's to see my book on the shelves because it genuinely makes me happy that my book is there. And it genuinely makes me happy to see it, a hard copy of it on the shelves, because that means a real one could go in there and pick it up and read it. And I've said this to my friend, my sister girl Melissa, who I love very much and appreciate her presence in my life. She was one of my biggest supporters, who went with me to take photos when I published the book in the stores. And the photo that I use in the majority of my YouTube videos at the end to promote my book, where I'm wearing the flowered dress and everything, holding my book, she actually took that photo for me. She's my sister. So anyway, I go in there every so often, and I told her not too long ago, I don't care about the sales. Like, I didn't do this for the money. It's going to be nice if I get paid for this. It will be an extra bonus. You know, it'll be great if I get paid for this book. But this particular book, I did not do for the money. I did it because I truly wanted to do it, and I wanted to put my voice out into the world, and I wanted to inspire people, but it was about me. You know, it was something I needed to do for myself. It was what I truly wanted to do, right? So looking back on my life when I was in college, when I was younger, and I would go into that store, Schuler's, or any bookstore, even Barnes and Noble's, it was something that I did when I didn't have a lot of money and I was living the college life and I was struggling. I liked to go into the bookstore and study, and when I would do that, I would put my normal school books down and I would walk around the bookstore and I would pick up books, and I love poetry. So I would go into the poetry section and I would just pick up a book off the shelves and I would see what the spirit or the universe or God or whatever you want to call the higher powers that be on the side of light and love that are in all of us wanted to tell me. I wanted to see what the spirit was calling out of me. I wanted to see what the world, the universe, God was trying to tell me with whatever I happened to pick up that day, with whatever I happened to be thinking and feeling. And so I would just wander and let myself let my free spirit wander into the poetry section. And I would pick up a book and I would find something that hit. I'd find something that would hit me in a good way, that would bring something to light in me. And that's real. And that's good. And I told my sister this, if a real one looks on my YouTube channel or sees my book link or just wanders into that store, or someone who knows it's there or someone who doesn't know it's there, and happens to pick up my book and reads one of my poems, it has come into them and it cannot be undone. It cannot be taken away. Nobody can take this away from me. It's done of my own free will and my own body, mind, and sound mind and body and soul. As a young, healthy person who had nothing to gain, who did not seek power in money or fame, I put this out into the world freely and truly. And so if someone reads this freely and truly, if a real one goes in there and picks up this book, my voice has come to them. My words have touched them. And who knows what sort of inspiration or learning or growth or light will come to them. So to me, that's beautiful, whether they buy it or not. If they even pick it up and read it, they've held a part of me. They've heard a part of me. They've listened to a part of me. They've taken in a part of me, and it cannot be taken away or undone. So the other day I went into the store, as I often do, and I saw that my book was front facing in the Michigan history section, and they had put one, or somebody had put one. I don't know if it was a customer. I don't know if it was an employee. I didn't ask them to do this, and I wasn't aware of it. But somebody had put this book front facing in the poetry section of Schuler's. So I didn't move it. And do you know it was right next to Walt Whitman, one of my favorite poets of all time, an American author, with poetry that has been classified as spiritually enlightening, classic and beautiful. To be on the shelf next to Walt Whitman, to be put there by a real human being, is an honor. So I just want you to know, this is a real way to touch the world. This is a real way to put out truth and love and peace without fear and get good things back. Good things will come back to you. And who knows who you might touch and inspire or teach or enlighten along the way. The fact that someone had taken my book and moved it to the poetry section in that store put a spring in my step. I was happy all day. It brought me true joy knowing that this happened. So this cover design was seen and it caught someone's eye and they picked it up and they read it, or they read enough of the poetry to know it belonged there. Even if it was an employee, somebody really touched this and read it, and that makes me genuinely happy. Okay? So I want you to know it's not expensive to create this cover design. I used Canva. It only cost nothing. It was free, 30-day free trial. Which you can renew and delete and re-add as many times as you want, and they'll let you keep doing free trials. I want you to know that colors matter to me, symbols matter to me, words matter to me, and I let my instincts and my heart and my spirit guide me on this, on how to create this design. And I have no regrets. I'm very happy with it. It's very beautiful. It maybe took me a week on Canva to put everything together with the ideas I already had. It didn't take very long. I guess it depends on how computer savvy you are, how good you are with technology. Again, I might do a how-to video on how to use Canva and create a cover design. Sharing my screen. It's just somewhat difficult for me to do screen sharing. That's why I haven't done a step-by-step tutorial of Barnes & Noble how to publish yet, because I kind of need 2 cameras, and I have another camera now, but I'm still kind of navigating how to use that camera because it's a new one that I've never used before. So doing the screenshotting with the 2 cameras is kind of a lot of logistics, but I'm still working on it, and I'm still intending to make a how to publish with Barnes & Noble's self-publishing house video. But this one is specifically about my cover design for my first book, Testimonials, and I'm sure there will be more published books by me to come. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your time and energy today. I hope everything I've said helps you. I hope it inspires people. I hope it guides them. I hope it gives you hope. And I hope it's transparent about what I did in my creative process. Peace, love, and respect to you all. Ciao.